Hello and welcome to the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League live tonight from the Nurburgring Nordschleife here in Germany, and looking forward to a very exciting race tonight. Just 9 drivers going to take the field here in the season finale this winter season. Just 10 races, but we have come to a close here, and it has been an exciting one, that is for sure. And good to see at least a few guys out here tonight to close things out. And an exciting and historic racetrack, one of the most difficult racetracks in all of the world. And looking forward to see how these drivers are able to handle the challenge here tonight in the GT3 machines. Again, 2 20-minute races here tonight with the heat race. The top 12 being inverted. There are only 9 drivers here tonight, so that is not going to be a problem for those drivers, but they will all experience the invert going into the feature race. My name is Adam Baker. I will be your broadcaster here tonight from the Nurburgring and with the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. We do want to give you a big warm welcome here to V-Speed and hope you enjoy tonight's broadcast. Taking a look at the starting grid for tonight's race session. It's going to be Cole Jordan, or rather it'll be Clint Fletcher fastest time, Brian Kennedy second quickest, third is Mike Nickham, Dave Hines fourth, fifth Matthew Gazenda, sixth is Carlos Bonds, Andy Shields seventh, Harry Duncan eighth, and Clint Fletcher, or rather Cole Jordan, fastest, or not fastest, slowest in qualifying, but he'll start up at the front. Sorry, I get a little bit confused by the invert at times, but yeah, our drivers are inverted from those starting spots. Just before we get going here tonight, I do want to show you the point standings. Andy Shield looks like he will capture the championship. A very dominating season. After 9 races, has 5 wins. Darren Treacle second, closest in the points there, but not showing up here tonight. And he is not going to have a chance to fight for that championship. But Andy Shield, what a season. Can he close it out with the victory as we're headed to the green flag here tonight at the Nürburgring? Cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know you're out there, who you're rooting for, as we head down into turn number 1. And Cole Jordan out in front, leading the way. It'll be Perry Duncan second, Andy Shield in the 3rd position, and already spacing out back to a few drivers further back. Matthew Gazenda towards the back here. Carlos Bonds all by his lonesome. Already about 8 seconds behind, looking to just survive this 20-minute session. And a very difficult racetrack, these GT3 machines, though. Lots of grip. So going to be interesting to see which cars seem to have an advantage at different parts of the racetrack. As they come up over the crest here, cars get a little bit light through there, even almost lifting off of the ground. On board with the champion of the season, that's Andy Shield, and looking for a 6th win. And what a season that would be to capture 60% of the races. And we've had some pretty good sized fields here this season, up to nearly 20 cars at times, so it's not all been easy, and he has won lots of races, which means lots of inverts, and he's gotten a lot of poles here in the winter season. Driver to keep your eye on here tonight, though, that is Clint Fletcher. Gonna be a driver that probably makes his way through the field. Brian Kennedy as well. And it'll be interesting to see how things space out. But Cole Jordan out in front. Make sure to like, share, subscribe if you're enjoying the broadcast tonight and any other night here on V-Speed. We do appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure to check out the season sponsors in the video description. That's going to be Matt Motorsports, Gunfire Games, as well as Duncan Racing Designs. All really great sponsors of this league here this season as well. Still working through, no major issues for any drivers. Nobody has gone off track significantly. I believe Clint Fletcher stuck a couple tires off into the dirt, but Brian Kennedy started to lose touch with him already, just about 2.5 seconds further back. Clint flashing the headlights right there as he closes up on the back bumper of Dave Hines. And so this will be where the challenge lies. You got to find those passing zones where you can. Of course, this racetrack's so complicated, complex, very long, and all kinds of different surfaces all throughout. Luckily for us today, the weather is going to be cooperative. I don't believe we're going to have any rain out here. So it should be a sunny day, 78-degree air temp, 121-degree track temp. So going to be a little bit slick for these drivers. So 121 degrees, not too cool of a surface. We take a look. Cole Jordan showing the way, but he is under fire now. And Perry Duncan is closed right up to the back on that long stretch there. These cars hitting over 160 miles an hour. Still currently doing about 140 as you see them on the screen here, and just ripping around this section of the racetrack. Perry Duncan now losing a little bit of ground and potentially could fall into the hands of Andy Shield, but now closes right back up as they go through the carousel section of the racetrack, that iconic corner. And yeah, the top two, nose to tail right now, already almost 5 minutes knocked off of this first race session. Andy Shield hanging tough in third, and the top five have driven away. Brian Kennedy all by himself in the 6th position, has had a good season as well, up there in the top 5 in the point standings. Dave Hines, he's had a good season as well. That bright green Porsche machine hanging on the 4th spot. And lots of trees around the racetrack here obscuring the cameras. We'll do our best to avoid that. Yeah, just 9 cars out here tonight. Shouldn't be short on action, though. We've got a good pack of race cars still together at what is a very complex racetrack. I'm surprised to see these guys actually navigating it as well as they have. I know a lot of them have probably driven this track a lot for the 24-hour event, so I have a good memory of the racetrack. I myself, I only know a few sections of this one. I would not be able to make it around here by memory without some significant problems, as there are a lot of turns at this track. Again, just track information there. 154 corners, 13 miles in length, so we're not going to get too many laps in this 20-minute section, or 20-minute race, rather. As the top two have driven away a little bit. And rather, it's Cole Jordan who's driven away. He's created a bit of a gap there now, 0.8 of a second. And this is the longest stretch of the track, hitting 165 or so miles an hour. Fastest car down this stretch, so that's Brian Kennedy hitting almost 169. And we are 3 wide. Clint Fletcher, Dave Hines, and then look at that, the speed in that Ferrari down that long straightaway. Picked off those 2 drivers, and Clint Fletcher able to get around Dave Hines as well. So using the draft to their advantage, and going to come across here to complete lap number 1. The lap time, see what it looks like there in the books, 6 minutes 54 seconds. So it looks like we'll get 3 laps in each race. Cole Jordan still hanging on the top spot. Perry Duncan second, Andy Shield third. And then Brian Kennedy going to try and reel in the top 3. He's picked up the pace here after picking off those 2 positions. Brian Kennedy, Clint Fletcher, Dave Hines, and there is Mike Nickum also closing in. Used that draft down the long straightaway to close back up just a little bit. Very impressed with these drivers so far to be as close as they are. Matthew Gazenda back here about 20 seconds behind in the 8th spot. Carlos Bonds is the tail end of the field, a few more seconds behind, but everybody doing solidly. As I said, very impressive to see all of them so close together. .154 corners, that's at least 154 opportunities to make a mistake. Go off the racetrack, make a little contact with one of these Armco style guardrails. As they come flying past 160 and counting, almost up to 170 miles an hour. As they get hard on the binders, though, down to under 75, now under 60 miles an hour on this flat left-hand sweeping corner back to the right. Cole Jordan still hanging out in front about 0.8 of a second. Nobody has been able to challenge him other than the one attempt by Perry Duncan, which was not successful. And the top three still running all within 1.5 seconds. Brian Kennedy about a second behind Andy Scheel. We're approaching the halfway point in this race. Clint Fletcher a little bit wide on the exit of that last corner. That might open up an opportunity for Dave Hines to take a peek back down low. And Mike Nickham continuing to close that margin up from 6th to 7th in his Ferrari, and that could be that straight line speed of the Ferrari actually helping him out quite a bit. Nicely through that section of corners. We'll get back on the throttle. Lots of grip. Mid-engine machine. Clint Fletcher all over the back bumper of Brian Kennedy. That is the battle for 4th. Brian Kennedy has it. Clint Fletcher wants it. Andy Scheel about a second up the road still. He's all over the back of Perry Duncan, and the gap for the race lead has now grown another 0.6 up to 1.4 seconds for Cole Jordan. He is doing a tremendous job here in the first half of this race, but still almost 10 minutes left in this one. Clint Fletcher flashing the headlights as they work nose to tail, utilizing that draft. Really nice job. Nobody's made any major mistakes. I believe Carlos Bonds may have gone around. He's back to about 50 seconds behind. But otherwise, everyone has stayed on the racing surface, although Perry Duncan's caught the wall. Taking a look at what happened to Perry. He's running in second. I'm trying to get a better view of this, but doesn't look like we have one from outside the racetrack. We'll go to the chopper overhead camera. Yeah, just skipped up over the cushion there, up over the banking onto the outer part of the turn, and that sent him straight into the guardrail. As we go back live, and Perry currently in that 5th position, still hanging tough right here. He's got a little bit of right front damage though now, and that could affect him on some of these corners. You can see right there a little bit wide again, so might be hurting for downforce. Dave Hines has lost touch with the back of Clint Fletcher after he was putting pressure on the number 3. And Cole Jordan out in front by 2 seconds. Oh man, look at the air that he just got right there as they come up over that crest and drop back down. Brian Kennedy in that 3rd position, trying to reel in the points leader and ultimately the season champion, Andy Scheel, who currently runs in the 2nd position, got that spot from Perry Duncan. And he went off wide in the corner. And we are going to be coming on to the long stretch here in just a few moments. And this is going to be very interesting to see if these guys are able to use some some techniques here, some NASCAR style techniques, and possibly do a little leapfrogging and see if they can gain a little bit of ground on Cole Jordan. They've already closed up a few tenths through that last section. And here we go onto the long straightaway, the Audi R8 out in front. And here comes Brian Kennedy, gonna have a full head of steam. The car just a little bit faster on the long straightaways, and he is gonna jump out of line. Not gonna actually try and push Andy Shield. He's gonna drag race him down into the next corner. Hitting nearly 170 miles an hour. Shield now right back in the draft. And he's gonna try and take a peek driver's left. Nope, not gonna do it that time as they go through the kink to the left. And then starting to slow up here into the more technical tail end of the racetrack. Brian Kennedy's taking the second spot and was able to close up a couple more tenths down that straightaway. And we're going to come back to the white flag. Final lap here in the heat race and the final race of the season. Who is going to get it done? A second and a half to be gained, but that is more than easy enough here at the Nurburgring. One misstep by Cole Jordan in these 154 corners, and it could very well go south for him, as he's already, you can see, just pushing that car a little wide that time, but able to keep the momentum. As here they go, the top four still all on the same straightaway. Dave Hines still in the 5th position. Actually, he's taken that 5th position away from Perry Duncan. Perry was up there in second for a lot of this race, has lost some ground, and now in trouble. Could potentially lose the spot to Mike Nickum, 6th and 7th. Potentially up for grabs. But they're all still fighting maybe for a top 5 in the heat race. Again, the invert gonna happen here. 9th place will go to 1st, so that'll be Carlos Bonds, it appears. As he's about a minute and a half behind. Keep an eye up here. The battle is on 2nd, 3rd, 4th. As it looks like Perry Duncan losing the position actually to Mike Nickum, so that did just happen as we switch the cameras away. I think Perry might be feeling the effects of that right front damage. Not really something you want here. You can see pushing just a little too wide that time. Overstepping the abilities of his race car a few times here in the last lap and a half. But it'll be Cole Jordan still leading the way, 1.3 seconds. So the gap's starting to shrink a little bit. These other cars nose to tail, a little bit of draft. Yeah, Ferrari just so powerful when he gets on the throttle, closes up a couple hundredths every single time, and that may be just enough to get there or get within drafting range on the long back straightaway. You see, lost a little bit of ground through those couple of corners. There goes Cole Jordan off into the wall though. Race leader Cole Jordan making a mistake. And that is going to open the door as we take a look at the replay. What happened here? Just skipped a little bit too wide, it appears. And yeah, lost the back end. Oh, and actually pretty good contact with the safer barrier. The tire barrier, rather. He was able to get it back rolling, but not going to have quite the same lead. As we go back live, the gap just about 0.8 of a second. Brian Kennedy, he's got to be careful not to be too close. So just maybe the right distance away to capture that run and capture the lead going into the last few corners. We'll see. You can see that car just so quick here through these straighter sections of the track, though. These high-speed sections, he's 2 or 3 miles an hour faster than Cole Jordan. And he's bringing Andy Shield and Clint Fletcher and their Porsche machines right along with him. The gap now down to just 0.2 of a second, and the battle's on for 3rd. Clint Fletcher, Andy Shield going to swap positions 3rd and 4th. So all kinds of action here on the white flag lap of the heat race. And Brian Kennedy pushing a little bit wide through that corner. Going to feel some effects in the slower sections being this close. You can see even Dave Hines and Mike Nickum not that far behind. If anything happens amongst the top 4, they could be in the catbird seat. Really exciting stuff here, and what is a small field, still exciting action. And these guys have done that all season long. They've done that every season that we have covered the action in the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. And you're going to want to make sure to tune back in when they resume the broadcasted races here in the summer season. That'll be in June. This will be the last one for a little while, as they're going to do their unofficial season, which will be a lot of fun for them. A little bit less pressure from the championship, but what a championship it has been. Andy Shield, your season champion, running in the 4th spot, has a shot at this heat race win, as there goes Clint Fletcher, going to slam the wall right in front of Andy. They're going to make contact. And that is a big hit for the number 3 machine of Clint Fletcher, who was running so strongly up until that point. Just got a little bit, I think, too much air possibly. Yeah, a lot of the curb there, and just lost the handling, and a big hit into the barrier. Comes back across the track, not able to control the race car at that point. Andy Shield going to make some contact and take the position away, but that is how things are looking. And Clint Fletcher struggling here, has some broken suspension, so he's trying to limp his way back around. But it's now a 2-horse race here, as they're on the long back straightaway, and Brian Kennedy is there. Is he going to be able to take the spot? Here he goes, now looking drivers left. Going to be a drag race, and Brian Kennedy with the advantage, coming down into the braking zone. Andy Shield has lost 3rd position, as Dave Hines able to take that one away. And here we go, one last opportunity. Can Cole Jordan, who's led this entire race up until this point, get it back here? Coming to the checkered flag, Brian Kennedy, doing everything he can. And biggest gainer of the race, 7 positions gained. He'll take the checkered flag. Cole Jordan in 2nd. How about Mike Nickum? He'll take 3rd at the checkered flag. What a drive from the 57 as they all pile in. And let me take a look at the results here on your screen. No cautions, just the 1 lead change. They continue to pile it in. And it's going to be Brian Kennedy, Cole Jordan, Mike Nickum, Dave Hines, Andy Shield, Perry Duncan, Clint Fletcher, Matthew Gazenda, and Carlos Bonds rounding out the field, as those last 3 still trying to bring it around. Clint Fletcher with the damage, just trying to make his way, and that position should change hands. I believe Clint may end up either 8th or 9th before all is said and done. We are going to go to our halfway commercial break, and we will be right back with the feature event. From the starting line to the finish line, and everything in between, Duncan Racing Designs is here to supply you with the livery you didn't know you needed. Let DRD help you look good so you can drive fast. Contact Duncan Racing Designs on Instagram, trading paints, or via email. Matt Motorsports is a sim racing rentals and events company. We supply businesses and individuals with sim rigs for all types of events, from birthdays and bachelor parties to team building retreats and corporate events. We have packages to suit all types of occasions. Founded by an automotive industry veteran and BMW lover, Matt Motorsports' mission is to spark joy in current and future car enthusiasts. Learn more at mattmotorsports.com. This season of the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League is brought to you by Gunfire Games, developers of the hit game Remnant 2, now available for PC, PS5, and Xbox. For more information on Remnant 2, visit www.remnantgame.com. Back at the racetrack now, we're going to take a look at how that race ended, and Brian Kennedy able to make the pass for the win. And then we'll also take a look at some of the other drivers. This was Brian Kennedy running here in second. The number 77 machine started in 8th in that first race and able to get close enough here. Cole Jordan, who led the first 2 laps, not able to hold him off down that long straightaway. And that is just how things go here at this racetrack. Very tough to hold somebody off who's got that much speed. And let's take a look at Mike Nickum as well, who was able to let's actually take a look here. He goes in behind Dave Hines, who's able to take the spot away from Andy Shield. Mike Nickum back there, the 57, he's in the Ferrari as well. Remember, a little bit more horsepower under the hood, a little bit more straight line speed. As he was able to take him 3 wide. Andy Shield had the opportunity to take the spots back, but actually backed out of it. No real gain for him here tonight. He's already won the championship. Mike Nickum able to take that spot away, even overshoots that corner just a little bit, but able to take the spot from Dave Hines and Andy Shield. Ultimately come home in the 3rd position after a very fun race. We are going to go to our race session. Let's see if we can go to and find Brian Kennedy. Getting the cars gridded up here. He is going to have to start from the back. Still waiting on a couple more cars to grid up here. We'll probably talk to Brian after the race if we don't get a chance to talk to him here. Like we are still waiting for... Nope, they are all gridded up apparently. Carlos Bonds looks like he'll be starting from the pit lane. So he would have been starting up at the front, but it's going to be Clint Fletcher now starting up here at the front of the field. Matthew Gazenda as well. Perry Duncan, Andy Shield, Dave Hines, Mike Nickum, Cole Jordan, and Brian Kennedy. That is going to be the way that they line up for the feature event here at the Nurburgring, the last race of the season. And yes, what a drive by Brian Kennedy to take the heat win, but he's got a hurdle to overcome this time, although he started in 8th. in the heat race and took the win. So maybe it's a little bit better to start at the back. But obviously some really good speed in the 77 here at the Nurburgring tonight. We'll see if Clint Fletcher can overcome that mistake that he had made. And in that pink and white camouflage Porsche 911, he will lead the field to the start of the feature event. Race number 10 in the National Capital Chapter BMW Car Club of America Sim Racing League. And he is going to take the lead down into turn number 1. Perry Duncan in second, where he ran a lot of race number 1. Gonna try and stay right up here and limit those mistakes in this one, as car is squeaking through as they jump over some of these elevation changes. There goes Dave Hines, overshoots the corner just a little bit. That'll stack him up. Andy Scheel right in there behind. As the top two still hanging tough out there, a few car lengths out in front. Amazing how much time passes at this racetrack, how quickly. I mean, we're almost a minute through it already, and you know, we're only about a sixth of the way through a lap. It's just incredible. Ryan Kennedy already up 2 positions. Carlos Bonds was able to exit the pits, and actually about the same distance behind as he would have been at the start of the last race. About 8.5 seconds behind, so that's about where he was at this point in the heat event. And Mike Nickum finished in 3rd. He's up here in 6th right now, and this is about where Mike ran most of that heat race as well. And they come ripping on by. Again, almost up to 160 miles an hour. The battle for the race lead is on. Perry Duncan overshoots the turn just a little bit. And a little bit out of the groove. Dave Hines up over the curb. Going to lose a little bit of momentum from that. Here comes Andy Scheel. Is he going to take his shot to make a pass? This is a very tight section of the racetrack. Not a lot of passing opportunities. You see he backs off though, trying to get a good run. Peeking to driver's left. Felt the back end start to come around a little bit right there. Had the lift. Old Jordan, who led most of the heat event, see what he's able to do from the 5th position. Has his work cut out for him this time. Doesn't have that clean air, so a completely different experience for what was a very, looked like it was going to be a dominating performance, but ends up making a mistake right here, just where he did on the final lap of the last race. So a little bit of flashbacks going through his mind, I'm sure, after losing the heat race. That was a big contributor to it. Lost about half a second and added some damage to the race car. Meanwhile, able to pretty much stay off the wall this time and able to continue on, but losing a bit of ground, already about 5 seconds behind. Clint Fletcher putting the hammer down here, about 1.7 seconds out in front of Perry Duncan. Dave Hines closing up 4-second spot. As changing hands back here, 6th and 7th, Mike Nickum. Brian Kennedy able to work around the outside groove. Take the spot away. Nice job there from the heat race winner. Already 6.1 seconds behind. I think this is a little further than he was really the entirety of that heat race. So gonna have his work cut out. Perry Duncan losing ground though. Small mistake there. Gonna give the spot up to Dave Hines and Andy Scheel. So he'll drop from 2nd to 4th. Cole Jordan trying to close back in. Overshoots the turn just a little bit. Once again, he's really pushing in that Audi R8. Amazing how much grip these cars have. You could hear he was on the throttle pretty much all the way through the carousel. It is 3 Porsches out in front at the Nürburgring right now. Quentin Fletcher has set sail. That gap now 3.6 seconds. He's looking to take his second victory of the season. And looking pretty good to do it, barring any mistakes. We did see he made one on the last lap of the heat race, which cost him a good finish, but ultimately gave him the best starting spot possible. Oh boy, there goes Perry Duncan around hard into the barrier. Take a look at what happened here. I think just lost the back end. That is what happened. Perry Duncan slams the guardrail, comes to a halt there, and able to get back rolling just now. So not the way that he would like to end the season, I'm sure, but still has an opportunity to gain potentially 1 or 2 spots if there are mistakes from other drivers. We did see issues from even the likes of Clint Fletcher, who's dominating this one, 4.4 seconds out in front, but gotta be careful not to burn his tires up too much. Dave Hines second, Andy Shield in third. Cole Jordan up to fourth right now, and Brian Kennedy has closed in on this group and kept that margin about 7 seconds. Looking to be about the second quickest car now onto this long straightaway. The Ferrari, is he going to be able to close in just like he did in the last race on this section of the racetrack? You can see that gap shrinking just a little bit, about 3 miles an hour quicker than the cars in front. And what is he going to do? Going to take a look now on Cole Jordan. This was the same situation as the end of the last race, and not clear yet. They have to get on the brakes. You see the taillights light up. Cole Jordan able to hang on to that spot this time. So I wonder if maybe a little bit of damage last time is what contributed to him losing so much ground on the straightaway and up to the straightaway, ultimately losing the lead with only about a minute and a half to go. Clint Fletcher, though, driving away. Oh, big slide right there, though. He's got to be careful. He's got this lead. Cannot push his car too hard to the point where he's losing ground for the whole rest of the race. You can see, though, a pretty healthy margin as Dave Hines, Andy Shield, and company just exiting the corner behind. And this group of cars nose to tail, or just in line rather, not really nose to tail, but all about equally spaced. Second through fifth, and then Mike Nickham in sixth, not too far behind. And we've got Matthew Gazenda, Carlos Bonds, Perry Duncan has taken it behind the wall, or at least taken it to pit lane, and will likely end the season not on the high note that I'm sure he was looking for, but they will have the unofficial spring season for him to go out there and win some races. And Perry had a bit of an up and down season, I would say. Some really strong races, and a few races a little mistake filled, but everybody in this league continues to improve massively week after week, and it is such a good sight to see everybody hanging tough here at the Nurburgring, which is such a difficult racetrack. Dave Hines leading the second group. They have made some inroads here on Clint Fletcher. About a half second shaved off. You see Dave, big slide right there, but really wheeling this Porsche, trying to close up as much ground as possible. They've got to be about 2 seconds or so back from Clint Fletcher by the start of the final lap to really have any shot at it. And we'll see if they get any hint of draft down the straightaway. But right now, the gap opening back up 4.3 seconds. Keep an eye on Clint. He did have that big slide early in this lap, but able to keep the tires on it for right now. Ultimately, Clint Fletcher trying to stink up the show. That's exactly what you want to do if you're out here on the racetrack. I mean, you want to lead every single moment you possibly can. That is going to be your best shot at winning. And right now, at the halfway point, he has got a massive lead. On board here with Dave Hines. As these two, nose to tail, have gotten a little bit of a distance between themselves and Cole Jordan and Brian Kennedy. Here comes Andy Shield now trying to find some way around. He is right there, and this is as close as you want to be. Andy Shield, what a season. You know how he would love to finish it off on the podium or maybe with a win. That gap continues to grow up to Clint Fletcher, though. I think it may be a tall task to take that win away from him. Cole Jordan back here behind, trying to get up on the podium after a very strong run. And that gap continuing to grow. Clint Fletcher is just on a mission here to drive away, and what a performance so far in this one. I mean, he has been just next level speed. As Cole Jordan a little wide through that corner, able to get it back underneath him. It could open up an opportunity for Brian Kennedy to come through there and attempt to make a pass. These four still pretty close together. Cole Jordan getting a little bit sloppy now. Couple mistakes there in that section. Big slide from Dave Hines at the exit of that corner. And how about Clint Fletcher continuing to stretch the gap now? 6 seconds. And there are the rest of the drivers making their way on by. And they are moving out here tonight. Really good speed. And very close in terms of the competition level. These guys are really putting it to it. As look at this battle now for third. Cole Jordan nearly got it done there, and slamming the wall goes Dave Hines. Big hit. That's going to be the end of his night. Just lost the back end and not able to collect the race car. That high speed section, slams it into the barrier. And unfortunate to see, but I think that is going to be... oh, they actually got the bumper back on there. We go back live. He is still working his way back around, but that car going to be severely hurt, and that is going to be the end of his competitive race. He'll drop to 6th position, and the front end of that Porsche looking a little bit more Volkswagen Bug than Porsche, as Clint Fletcher continuing to open up that gap now up to 8.1 seconds. And he'll be taking the white flag here in just a few moments. Andy Shield to 2nd. Trying to hold on here over Cole Jordan and Brian Kennedy and secure a spot on the podium. And Fletcher now can take it a little bit easy. And you know he is going to want to. White flag in the air. White flag on the season. The BMW Kart Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. It has been quite the season. It has been a pleasure to bring it to you. I know that these guys really do appreciate going back and watching the broadcasts, and we're glad we can bring you good quality action each and every week. And very proud of these guys for the effort that they put on every time they come out here. Have a good, clean race. We've had quite the season, a lot of competitive races. Andy Shield has been dominant, but it hasn't been easy for him at times. But even tonight, up here in the mix for podium finishes in the heat and now the feature, and opening up that gap back to third place, trying to secure his position amongst the top two. But Fletcher still 7.6 seconds up the road, and can't give up too much time here. You can't take it that easy, but and he has been flying around here. We'll take a look now. Andy Shield in second, battle for third. Cole Jordan, Brian Kennedy. That'll be the position to watch. See if they work together when they get to the drafting zone to get up there and maybe catch Andy Shield. A couple other drivers in this one. Mike Nickum back in 5th spot. If something happens amongst 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, he could have a shot at a podium finish. And then Dave Hines, who collected the damage, is trying to work his way around on the final lap. Still has the nose damage from what I could see. Still has that nose damage. And Cole Jordan with problems. Oh man, just pushed a little too hard. We've seen a lot of drivers. Oh, and collecting Brian Kennedy. We're gonna go back and take a look at this one. See what happened here. Kind of unusual position to lose the back end. Yeah, just lost the handle. Goes for a slide, and then Brian Kennedy, nothing he can do. They're going to get collected here on the last lap of this one. And what did I say? Mike Nickum, he's up in the podium positions. And he's trying to get 2 podiums here tonight. Cole Jordan has gotten it back rolling and not too far behind Mike Nickum, but that's pretty much settled the top 2. Clint Fletcher, Andy Shield, barring any major mistakes from either of those 2 drivers, they are going to finish 1-2. And Andy Shield will finish the season with 5 wins. And Clint Fletcher going to capture 2 of them. As we come to a close here in the winter season, what has been your favorite moment out here? What racetrack, what race did you enjoy the most amongst these 10 that we had this season? We had a lot of amazing battles all season long. Started things off at the Glen. Darren Treacle took the win there, and then it was Andy Shield's season pretty much from that point on. But wow, we had some incredible races. Barber was one that stood out. We had some really tight racing at the front of the field there. Danvort, we had some amazing battles up at the front of the field. And what has happened now? Brian Kennedy continuing to lose ground. And that car appears to be broken, so he's just trying to limp it back. And that is going to be a tough way for Brian, who won the heat race to finish the season. We will talk to Brian as we close things out in just a few moments. But Clint Fletcher still has a little ways to go. It is not over for him. Still has to push this race car. The gap now 10.3 seconds. And Andy Shield, he's taking his sweet old time. Nothing to gain, nothing to lose here. And he will hopefully be able to make it back in one piece. We'll keep an eye on the battle for third. I mean, Mike Nickum has it. Cole Jordan with the damage. I'm not sure he'll be able to use the draft as effectively, but still going to have an opportunity to take that podium finish away. As Clint Fletcher now working on to the straightaway in just a couple moments. struggling with the handling on that race car now. He's pushed the tires really hard, but it is home clear from this point on. Clint Fletcher with a huge lead with Andy Shield just now working on in the same straightaway. And the gap 12.4 seconds. Here we go. Battle for third position. Happening about 21 seconds behind your race leader. Take a look at Clint Fletcher as he comes through the final few corners. And we'll take a peek back at what Cole Jordan is able to do. He's not gaining ground at the moment. But here comes Clint Fletcher. One more corner and checkered flag in the air at the Nurburgring. For Clint Fletcher, he'll take the win. What a drive from the driver of the number 3, as here we go, battle for third. Season champion, second place Andy Shield. He'll come around the last corner and take the win, but here comes Cole Jordan and Mike Nickum. Anything able to be done here by the 6 of Cole Jordan? Not gonna happen. It's gonna be Mike Nickum, 2 podium finishes, and they pile it in. What a race here amongst this field of drivers. As Cole Jordan comes home in 4th. Dave Hines looks like he takes 5th. Matthew Gazenda still working towards the line. Carlos Bonds not too far behind him. But here comes Matthew Gazenda taking home 6th position. Carlos Bonds, how about this run from him? Nice clean race, much improved from the first one. In terms of distance behind, it was about 2.5 minutes behind at the end of race number 1, and now just about 57 seconds and only a few seconds behind Matthew Gazenda. So really good improvement from Carlos, as we do see sometimes. And here comes Brian Kennedy, damaged right front and all, 150 miles an hour. The final couple of corners, hopefully he is able to get it woed up and actually get it to steer, but that car seriously hurt. You can see limping at home. Gonna come home here at the Nurburgring, and Clint Fletcher again takes the win. What a drive by the number 3 machine. Andy Shield in 2nd. He's gonna take the championship and a runner-up finish. Mike Nickum 3rd, Cole Jordan 4th, Dave Hines in 5th. 6th was Matthew Gazenda, Carlos Bonds 7th, Brian Kennedy 8th, and Perry Duncan rounding out the field here at the Nurburgring. Let's go to our race winner here tonight. That is Clint Fletcher. Let's see if we can pull him right up into the booth. Hey Clint, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, man, it was a really tight race amongst the top 5 or so in that first race, and you made a mistake on the last lap. Ultimately gave you really good starting position for this feature, and wow, you drove away with it. Was there something you learned that you were able to carry into this feature event?
Yeah, the rear tires on the Porsche were just completely gone on the last lap. With the new setup, how hot the track was, I just tried to manage the tires the whole way and not really get into traction control with the blue lights flickering. So just throttling easier out of corners, I guess, and just trying to be smoother.
Yeah, we saw a lot of guys start to make those mistakes on that 3rd lap. Like you said, just heating up the tires a little bit too much, and we'd see the back end on a lot of cars come out from underneath at seemingly random points, but I think just really cooking the rear tires. But did a great job there managing, and you take your 2nd win of the season. How do you feel about this season as a whole in the GT3 machines and capturing a couple wins?
I was a little late to the season, just because of family reasons and whatnot, and so just happy to be back. I didn't think I would be as competitive because I took a gigantic break from sim racing altogether until getting back into this league. So just happy with being able to perform kind of like I never left, and hopefully this will continue on into the next season, whatever car we're driving.
Yeah, it's definitely been impressive to see you just jump right back in, and instantly you're competing up there at the front for wins and on speed. And 2 wins this season, very, very impressive. You win the 2nd most races. Andy kind of had everybody covered for a good portion of this season, but it feels like when you kind of got back into your rhythm there, you were able to keep up, and you take a couple wins here in the last few races. So really great job, and congrats on the win here tonight. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's race and the season?
I want to thank you for being able to cover all the broadcasts. It really makes this league a lot of fun to rewatch all the races. And then Scott, Dean, Brian, Adam, all those guys for helping this league run. Perry for all the liveries. Matthew and I forget the other guy's name for sponsoring the league. And then once again, my wife for allowing me to do this race on Thursday right now.
Yep, and again, congratulations on becoming a new dad, and you get a couple wins here and close out the season with a victory as well. So hopefully you can go get some rest, or at least attend to them. But have a great night, Clint, and we'll catch you next time we bring you guys some broadcasts.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you. That is Clint Fletcher, race winner. As we go now to second place finisher, that is going to be your champion this season, Andy Shield. He is still in the Discord. We'll pull him in here. Andy Shield, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
Hi, Adam.
Well, Andy, not a win here tonight, but wow, you had 5 wins this season. You come home runner-up here at the Nurburgring after what was a really intense night of racing, even with the short field. How does it feel to be so dominant this season, ultimately, close things out here with a really good run tonight?
Just really pleased. Just been a really fun season racing with everybody. So I think everybody's had a lot of fun, and it's definitely got a lot more competitive towards the latter part of the season, where I think people started to get that bit quicker, which made the racing a lot tighter, and some of the battles on track were really fun to be part of and to watch as well.
Yeah, definitely a lot of entertaining moments all throughout the season, and you were right up there leading the way for most of it. You captured the championship, so congrats on that. And
thank you.
Yeah, just in regards to tonight's race, how did it feel out there? I know we heard some guys talking about the tires, and it looked like it was really a struggle, especially that third lap in both of these races.
Yeah, the track was really, really high. I think it was at like 120 Fahrenheit, so incredibly hot. And after a lap in the Porsche, the back ends just was all over the place, all through the high speed stuff. It just was incredibly on edge, and you had to be very, very accurate on your turn-in points. And if you made too much of an input, it would really provoke the back end to step out. And when you're doing the kind of speeds through some of those corners, it's very, very easy to kind of lose it and end up in the wall, really. So just the track conditions really did not favor the Porsche. The Ferrari was an absolute rocket ship. I mean, hats off to Brian. He had a great first race, and the power of that Ferrari down the Dawson Hose straight was you just couldn't do anything about it. It's just an absolute rocket ship.
Yeah, we were looking at that. He was about 3 or 4 miles an hour quicker down that straightaway, and was able to close up some pretty big margins. Ultimately took the lead there in the last lap and took the win in the heat race. But yeah, that was interesting to see on display the discrepancy in the power between the machines and the handling too. Right, the Porsches would lead a lot of it, or even the Audi was up there with Cole's car.
It's one of these iRacing things, but because the track's at altitude, any turbocharged car will have a distinct advantage in the power. So the Ferrari and the BMW were both incredibly quick. When I was following Perry, he was just gapping me down the straight, even while I was in his tow. So it really did stand out, the kind of the power difference. But that's how it is in racing. Some cars are going to be stronger at some tracks than others, and vice versa. So you got to use what you got, and you got to make up the time in other places. And overall it was a fun couple of races, and I think overall the cars were pretty even over the course of those 3 laps.
Yeah, and it was really cool to see. I think in the first race we had 4 or 5 guys all with a shot to win that one, and the second race got a little bit more spread out, but for a long time 4 or 5 cars bunched up together, and wasn't necessarily expecting to see that at such a difficult track here. But ultimately you come home second, and a fantastic season once again. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to for the championship and for tonight's race?
Just to everybody who turns up week in, week out, and obviously you, putting a great broadcast out, and to Scott for kind of pulling this together at the from the onset. So just lots of fun. Look forward to racing again when we're back up and running again.
Awesome, Andy. Well, it'll be a pleasure to see you back on the racetrack. I think we're skipping the next season. It'll be more of an unofficial series, but hopefully in the summer we'll be able to catch you then. And again, congratulations on the championship, and really just a fantastic season for you here with 5 race wins. It's been very impressive to watch. So go celebrate, and we'll catch you soon.
Thanks very much, Adam. Have a good rest of your evening, and enjoy your summer.
Thank you. You too. That is Andy Scheel, race second place finisher and season champion. We go now to third place. It'll be Mike Nickum, driver of the 57. We're gonna pull him into the booth here. What a fantastic night from him. Hey Mike, this is Adam, the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Mike, you had a fantastic night here at the Nurburgring. I'm not sure you were maybe expecting to finish podium in both races, but wow, what a drive. You were able to gain 4 positions in both races and come home with third place finishes. Really, really, really strong runs here tonight. Did you expect to run like that here at the Nurburgring?
Well, the Nordschleife is definitely my best track of all. I mean, I've done hundreds and hundreds of laps, so I thought I would do okay, and I didn't. I know I can get around it without crashing.
Yeah, that seemed to be the biggest issue for some of these guys, right? They could be really, really fast on those first 2 laps, but that third one, if they pushed a little too hard, they start to lose control. And you looked cool as a cucumber back there, and you were waiting for them to make those mistakes, and you were staying right there with them. Really good performance from you here tonight. Really good season from you as well. Is there any thoughts, anything you learned from this winter season?
Just a lot more seat time in a GT3. That definitely helped. I don't normally drive these kind of cars that much, so. But anyway, it's a fun league for sure.
Yeah, definitely been a very exciting winter season, and thanks for putting on a great show for us each and every week. And is there anybody we need to give a shout out to for tonight's race and this season?
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
That is Mike Nickum. Man short on words, but very quick in the race car. He comes home in third here tonight to close out the season. What a fantastic drive from him. As we'll go to Brian Kennedy now. We'll see if we can bring Brian in. He won the heat race. We'll talk with him about that one as he took the lead on the last stretch and took the race win.
Right.
Hey Brian, this is Adam in the VC booth. You got a copy?
Hey Adam, yeah, I copy.
Well, Brian, you took the heat win here tonight in a very dramatic fashion. You came from 7th or 8th place in that race, charged 7 positions up to take the win, and you took it there on that last stretch, using the power of the Ferrari to make quick work of that pass. But just describe that race and your night here at the Nurburgring.
Yeah, I mean that was intense and very fun first heat. Definitely the Ferrari was very competitive on the straight, and then I got a great draft. I kind of knew that I just had to set people up for that last turn and get a really good run out of there. And yeah, it was that was kind of the move for that race. Real happy. Then unfortunately, got on the coal in the second race there. I just couldn't. He actually got a tornado warning on his phone, which I guess that would distract someone, and
Yep.
so I think that might have caused his incident, and then I couldn't I picked the wrong side of where his car was going to end up, so oh well. But yeah, the first race, very happy with that finish. So.
Yeah, and a really strong season from you as well. It looks like you'll finish 3rd in the points. So, how do you feel about your performance this season? Very consistent and, challenging for wins. But did you learn anything that you can carry on into future seasons?
Yeah, I learned that we got a lot of new fast people in the league, and I won't be 3rd next season if everyone turns up and races like they did this season. So, but I do want to. I'll be getting my shout outs, but yeah, I want to shout out to all the new people from mainly the Buckeye BMWCCA chapter. It's great to have those guys join us, and Andy is another guy who returned this season. He won the season. It was great to have him back. So yeah, shout out to all the people that joined us for this winter season.
Awesome, Brian. Well, great to see you out here for the season as well, and put on a good show for us. Come home in the podium in the championship as well. So congrats on that. And we will catch you. I believe it's going to be the summer season when we'll be back with you guys. But maybe I'll see you on track here in the spring season at some point.
Awesome. Hope to see you. And
Awesome.
yeah, VSpeed did a great job this season. Thanks for all the good broadcasts.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and have a great night, and we'll catch you soon.
Yep. Talk to you soon, Adam.
Thank you. That is Brian Kennedy. I'm so not where he would like to end the season. 8th place in the final race here, but takes the heat win, and what a fun season for him. Able to get 3rd in the championship. So that has been the Nurburgring in the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. That has been the winter season, where Andy Scheel is your champion, and Clint Fletcher took the win here tonight, his 2nd of the season. What a fantastic year or season from these guys. Make sure to check out their sponsors in the video description, or you can rewind back to the halfway break to learn more about them. But we do appreciate you tuning in here to VSpeed. Make sure to check out all our other races throughout the week. It'll be a little while till we're back with this league. I believe it's going to be the beginning of June, but there's a lot of great action every single night. You'll be able to hear my voice over on some of the Tuesday night races, potentially other nights throughout the week as well. But it has been a pleasure to bring you the action here. Again, my name is Adam Baker. You can check us out at VSpeed Sim on Twitter, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and any other social media outlet. You can find us over there. But make sure to subscribe, like, and share the video tonight if you did enjoy the broadcast. We do appreciate it. And everyone, have a great night.